Welcome back. Today we're going to look at part 2 of a round 1 interview for a pharmaceutical sales rep. And here, unlike part 1, which is a little bit of lovey-dovey, getting to know you, the hiring managers are going to turn up the heat and throw some tough questions at you. Now, by far, my biggest tip is to master the STAR format. This is going to prevent you from blabbing on and not answering the question and leaving doubt in the hiring manager's minds as to whether or not you are competent and know what you're getting yourself into. A quick recap of what STAR is: it's situation, task, action, response. With these four, the situation, you're just setting out the scene. The task, what did you need to get done? Action, what did you do? And the result is the outcome. I would spend 80% of my time talking about the action and the result, because that is really what the hiring managers are looking for. Oh, and if we're meeting for the first time, my name's David Tong. Every week I post new content on Finding Pharma to help you stay ahead of the curve. If you want to stand out from the rest of the pack, subscribe today. Now, what are the 3 common but curly behavioral questions hiring managers love to ask in a round 1 interview? Well, the first one that a lot of my mentees have shared with me is, tell me about a time when you hit a KPI or surpassed a KPI, and what was your strategy? Clearly see here, the sales manager is trying to understand and reassure themselves that you have a basic understanding of sales, and 2, you can drive results. So leveraging my 5 years of pharma sales experience, the way I'd answer this question is 1, situation. In my previous role as a sales assistant at Fitness First, I joined a gym where the memberships were declining by 30% every month. Number 2, task. When I was hired, the hiring manager made very clear to me that my role was to come in and slow this decline and taper it off back to 0. This meant getting at least 5 new members each week. Number 3, action. Knowing that I had to find 5 new members a week, what I did was I looked at the list of recently cancelled members and I gave them a call to understand why they were leaving the gym. With quite a large number of them, price was an issue, and what I was able to negotiate was a small discount on them and they would return to the gym. Another strategy that I employed was waiting outside sports halls and health food outlets like Boost Juice, where I know people who love going to the gym frequent. And from there I gave them an introductory offer of a discounted rate for the first 6 months of their membership. 4, result. After applying these 2 strategies over a 3-month period, I managed to sign up 50 new members to the gym. Now, I literally just made that up on the spot, but you can see there's quite a nice flow to it and very clear demonstration that I can drive a business outcome. Now, as I've said earlier on the channel, Finding Pharma is your go-to resource for understanding the pharmaceutical industry. I've been lucky enough to secure the time and expertise from some high-level thought leaders in the industry, and there's one episode I've done with Manzoor, who is the strategic talent acquisition partner for Roche, one of the top 3 pharmaceutical companies in the world. Now, he sits in hundreds, maybe thousands of interviews a year, and he actually reveals 2 commonly asked behavioral questions that he uses when making hires. And if you're curious to know what those questions are, click here. But otherwise, one other commonly asked question from hiring managers is, tell us about a time where you influenced someone. And again, the hiring manager is looking for, how good are you at building relationships? How good is your communication skills? And thirdly, can you get a desired outcome? So if I do a quick STAR response to this behavioral question, I would say something like, situation. I used to work at a marketing firm where we noticed our digital marketing was declining. My task was to improve our digital marketing, in particular our social media presence. 3, action. I conducted a thorough analysis and audit of all our social media content. I built customer avatars to understand what would resonate the most with our audience. And I even studied what our competitors were doing that was resonating so well. After gathering this research, I created a proposal and showed it to my manager on how we needed to double down on TikTok as opposed to Facebook ads. 4. Result. My manager was really impressed with the thorough analysis and actionable next steps. She backed me and we decided to pivot our social media strategy. Over the next 3 months, we saw a 40% increase in our social media engagement. Now, I hope understanding what hiring managers are looking for, seeing how the STAR format works, gives you a little bit of reassurance and confidence going in to your first round interview. And if you want to see more questions that may be asked during a round 1 interview, click here. Or if you want to get in the head of a hiring manager, I highly recommend this interview here with Robin Whiteley.